Ah, I see what you're going for. One of those emotional, viral, faith in humanity restored stories. I've got you. Blue Heart. Here's a full, flowing version of that story, written in that dramatic, heart-tugging style people love to read and share. Mother sells old car to pay bills, mechanic's surprise gesture changes everything. In a quiet Chicago suburb, struggling mother Maria Alvarez stared at the cracked windshield of her aging sedan and felt her chest tighten. The car had been with her for nearly a decade, through school drop-offs, late-night grocery runs, and the long drives to the hospital when her husband was still alive. Now, it was all she had left that might help keep the lights on. Maria was a single mother doing everything she could to stay afloat. After her husband passed away 3 years earlier from a sudden illness, the medical bills piled up fast. Rent went up, groceries cost more every month, and her job as a hotel housekeeper barely covered the basics. When the final notice from the electric company arrived, Maria knew she had no choice. She had to sell the car. Her 9-year-old son, Ethan, watched silently from the porch as Maria wiped dust from the hood. He didn't fully understand bills or debt, but he understood sacrifice. That car meant freedom. It meant his mom could get to work, could take him to school, could escape, if only for a moment, the weight she carried every day. "Mom," Ethan said softly, clutching his backpack, "how will you get to work?" Maria forced a smile. "We'll figure it out, mijo. We always do." They drove to a small, family-owned mechanic shop a few miles away. The sign above the garage read, "Frank's Auto Repair, honest work since 1989. Maria had chosen it because it looked modest. No flashing signs, no fancy cars, just a place that felt human. Inside, the smell of oil and metal filled the air. A man in his late 40s stepped out from under a lifted truck and wiped his hands on a rag. "Hi there," he said kindly. "I'm Frank. What can I help you with?" Maria swallowed hard. I need to sell my car. I was told you might know someone who buys used vehicles." Frank glanced at the sedan outside, then back at Maria. He noticed the way she held her purse tightly, the tired lines under her eyes, the boy standing quietly beside her. "Sure," he said gently. "Let me take a look." Frank inspected the car carefully. He checked the engine, tapped the tires, opened and closed the doors. He didn't rush. When he was done, he leaned against the hood and sighed. "It's old," he said honestly. "But it's been taken care of." Maria nodded. "I just need enough to pay some bills." "Anything helps." Frank named a price. It was fair, but low. The kind of number that stings when you know it's your last option. Maria hesitated. Then she nodded. "Okay." As Frank went inside to write up the paperwork, Ethan tugged on his mom's sleeve. "Mom," he whispered, "this car was Dad's favorite." Maria blinked back tears. "I know, baby." A few minutes later, Frank returned, but he wasn't holding paperwork. Instead, he crouched down in front of Ethan. "Hey, buddy," Frank said. "Do you like cars?" Ethan nodded. "My dad taught me how to check the oil." Frank smiled. Then he stood up and turned to Maria. "Can I ask you something?" he said. "Why are you really selling this car?" Maria hesitated, then everything spilled out. The bills, the overtime shifts, the fear of losing their apartment, the exhaustion of trying to stay strong for her son when she felt like she was drowning. Frank listened. He didn't interrupt. When she finished, the garage was quiet. Finally, Frank cleared his throat. "Maria," he said slowly, "I can't buy this car from you." Her heart sank. "I understand," she said quickly. "I'm sorry for wasting your time." "That's not what I mean," Frank said. He reached into his pocket and pulled out the keys to her car, and placed them gently in her hand. "I'm not buying it," he said, "because you still need it." Maria stared at him, confused. "I lost my mom when I was Ethan's age," Frank continued. "She worked 2 jobs, sold everything she could, and one day, someone helped her when she had nothing left. I never forgot that." He took a deep breath. "I paid your electric bill this morning," he said quietly. "And your rent for next month." Maria's knees nearly gave out. "What?" she whispered. "And the car," Frank added, smiling, "needs a new transmission. I already fixed it, free of charge." Tears streamed down Maria's face as she clutched the keys. I can't accept this. I don't even know how to thank you." Frank shrugged. "You already did. You showed your son what strength looks like." Ethan stepped forward and wrapped his arms around Frank's waist. "Thank you," he said. Frank's eyes glistened. "You're welcome, kiddo." Word of Frank's gesture spread quickly. Neighbors dropped off groceries. A local church helped cover school supplies. Someone anonymously paid Maria's car insurance for 6 months. But the biggest change wasn't financial. For the first time in years, Maria slept without fear. Weeks later, Maria returned to the shop, not with a problem, but with homemade tamales and a handwritten note. It read, "Because of you, my son still believes in kindness. And so do I." Frank taped the note to the wall behind the counter. Right where everyone could see it. "If you want, I can make it shorter and punchier for social media. Rewrite it in a YouTube narration style. Add a stronger twist ending. Or push it closer to 1,500 words. Just tell me the vibe sparkles 1500 WAD.